Signs and symptoms of depression and what to do. Everyone goes through highs and lows during various phases of their life. However, sometimes what may appear as minor setbacks affect us more than we think, leading to psychological issues like anxiety and depression. While emotional swings are normal, depression is a severe mental illness that affects how you think, feel, and behave. Most people often mistake depression for sadness. It is much more than just feeling down in response to life's setbacks. It changes how you process your thoughts and function in daily life. Even everyday activities like work, study, sleep, and eating habits can become overwhelming, and your perspective on life in general is affected. Living in the black hole of depression makes people feel doomed. If you are going through a rocky or challenging phase, you may feel like you are destined to suffer. You may have a constant fear of impending doom, which makes you act out if things don't go as planned. Feelings of helplessness and hopelessness are amongst the top symptoms of depression. You feel as if your situation will never get better and your life will remain a mess. Sometimes people go through difficulty despite trying their best. As a result, they lose hope. Feeling that you have no hope in the future could prove dangerous and result in reckless behavior. Depression makes you lose interest in the activities you once loved and enjoyed. People who suffer from depression discontinue their usual lifestyle preferences. This is usually because their abilities to feel joy and pleasure are affected. For example, someone who loves socializing and hanging out with friends would prefer to stay alone at home, or someone who loves playing basketball may start missing practice matches. If you feel like you or a loved one is going through this phase, it might be due to depression. Unhealthy eating patterns also indicate mental disturbances or depression. Many of us are guilty of munching on crackers or emptying ice cream buckets while watching sad movies during rocky days. If you notice that your eating patterns and routines are changing, you weigh more or are less on the scale, it may be due to depression. A depressed person is more likely to adopt unhealthy eating habits. Eating too little or binge eating can be equally harmful to your health. Not eating enough or overeating causes drastic weight changes. These fluctuations in weight may prove to be devastating for other aspects of your health. An upset sleep cycle may be both the cause and the symptom of depression. Depression is not only notorious for affecting your daily activities, but your sleep routine as well. Often, the people having depression have a pattern of oversleeping during the day and suffering from sleeplessness during the night. Prolonged inability to fall asleep, a condition called insomnia, usually occurs because your mind cannot relax due to the ongoing stressful situation. Instead of resting, it makes you overthink and replay the painful things in your head again and again. Anger and irritability are also one of the most common manifestations of depression. Men, especially, lash out and get involved in reckless behavior when depressed. This anger can pose severe risks to relationships and friendships. Anger, aggressiveness, and shouting can also be present in depressed teenagers. It is essential to look out for the factors contributing to teenage depression, like bullying. Feelings of worthlessness and self-loathing usually follow depression. People with depression criticize themselves too harshly for even minute mistakes or perceived failures. Self-loathing worsens depression, leading to escapist yet reckless behaviors. Additionally, people with depression may also have a negative body image and low self-esteem. People experiencing depression often complain of unexplained body aches and pain. An increase in physical complaints like headaches, back pain, muscle ache, and stomach pain are observed. This happens because the excess cortisol in the body leads to inflammation, causing aches. Another common sign of depression is absent-mindedness and problems or trouble with concentration. During the depressive phases, a lot is going on in your mind. You overthink and overreact quickly. Due to these issues, your mind usually faces difficulty shifting its focus back to reality and the present moment. Resultantly, you lose concentration on your current work and tasks. While lack of attention sounds like a small issue, it can be dangerous. Picture this, for example, being on a highway but not being able to focus on the road. Isn't that the perfect recipe for disaster? Therefore, depression, once identified, needs to be dealt with. When you're depressed, you might not be able to see any light at the end of the tunnel, but there are many ways and methods you can adopt to lift and stabilize your mood. The key is to start with small steps and goals while slowly trying to do a little more each day. Feeling better requires time, but you have to make positive choices for yourself to achieve it. If you feel depressed and hopeless, don't shy away from reaching out to a family member, a friend, or a loved one. It is essential to understand that isolation fuels depression. Therefore, reaching out can be an effective strategy, even if you feel like being alone. Changing your routine may also prove helpful. Don't let the laziness kick in and take a short walk or put on some good music. These small activities are the perfect way to add energy to your life. Eating a balanced and healthy diet may also reduce the risk of developing depression and a negative self-image. Try to cut back on processed sugars and carbs. Additionally, try to engage with the people around you and don't hesitate to reach out for support. Lastly, if you feel like your quality of life is getting affected, it is advisable to consult professional therapists or psychologists. Therapists use an in-depth individual therapy or group therapy session, along with other techniques to help you formulate a coping strategy and manage your issue well in a step-by-step approach. With these simple modifications, you can begin your healing process right away.